So if you bought an extended warranty at a dealership in the last 5 years, I probably know exactly how much you overpaid because I sold them. Not once or twice, hundreds of times. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what these contracts cost the dealership, what they get sold to you for, the different coverage levels and what they actually mean, the wording tricks buried in the contract, whether you should even finance one, and the exact move to make before you ever walk into the finance office. So first, let's clear something up. An extended warranty isn't technically a warranty at all. It's a vehicle service contract, a separate agreement between you and a third-party administrator that agrees to pay for certain repairs after your manufacturer's warranty runs out. That distinction matters because it's not backed by the automaker. It's backed by an insurance-style company most buyers have never heard of, and the dealership is just the middleman selling it on their behalf. Here's the part I need you to actually hear. The product itself isn't a scam. For someone keeping a car past 100,000 miles, or buying something with a track record of expensive repairs, a service contract can genuinely make sense. The problem was never the product. The problem is the price. And almost nobody in that finance office is going to tell you what it actually costs to provide. Every dealership menu breaks these contracts into roughly 3 tiers. The names change by provider, but the structure is almost always the same. Powertrain is the base level. It covers the engine, transmission, and drivetrain, the components that would leave you stranded if they failed. It's the cheapest tier, and it's also the one with the most exclusions. Powertrain coverage typically will not touch electrical systems, infotainment, air conditioning, or most sensors, even ones connected to the engine. The middle tier adds a list of named components, usually things like the air conditioning system, some electrical parts, power steering, and select sensors. This is where the wording starts to matter a lot because select electrical components and all electrical components are 2 very different contracts that can look identical on a menu screen. The top tier is usually marketed as bumper to bumper. What that actually means is exclusionary coverage. Instead of listing what's covered, the contract lists what's excluded, and everything else is covered by default. This is the most comprehensive tier, and predictably, the most expensive. It's also the tier F&I managers are trained to lead with, because a buyer hearing bumper to bumper assumes total protection without ever reading the exclusion list. So now here's the number nobody shows you. Dealerships buy these contracts from the administrator at a wholesale cost, what the industry calls the cost or the reserve price. That cost is what actually funds the repairs down the line. The price you're quoted on the menu is typically 2 to 3 times that wholesale cost. A contract that costs the dealership around $800 to $1,200 to provide routinely gets sold for $2,500 to $3,500, depending on the vehicle and coverage tier. That markup doesn't disappear into thin air. Part of it is dealership profit. Part of it is F&I manager commission. And yes, warranty sales are commissioned, which is exactly why they get presented with more enthusiasm than almost anything else on the menu. And part of it is built-in room, because the price on that first screen is almost never the lowest number they're allowed to sell it for. This is also why the price can shift depending on the order products are presented in. Menu selling is a real trained technique. Showing the most expensive package first makes every option after it feel like a discount, even when all of them are marked up. Before you ever agree to a contract, read past the coverage tier name and look at 4 things specifically. Named component versus listed exclusion. If the contract lists what is covered, assume nothing else is. If it lists what isn't covered, assume everything else is included. This single distinction determines whether a $3,000 contract is actually comprehensive or full of gaps. The deductible structure. Some contracts charge a deductible per visit. Others charge it per repaired item, even if multiple things are fixed in the same visit. A $100 deductible sounds identical on paper until you're charged it 3 times in one shop visit. Wear and tear exclusions. Almost every contract excludes damage from wear and tear. The wording just varies on how aggressively that gets applied. This is the most common reason claims get denied, so ask directly what counts as wear and tear under that specific contract, where you can use it. Some contracts only pay at the selling dealership or require pre-authorization for every repair. Others are honored at any licensed repair shop nationwide. If you move or you'd rather use an independent mechanic, this detail alone can make a cheaper contract worth more than an expensive one. So before you sign anything, ask one more question. Is this the manufacturer's own extended warranty or a third-party contract the dealership is offering instead? Most manufacturers, Toyota, Ford, Honda, GM, and others, sell their own extended coverage, backed directly by the automaker instead of an outside administrator. Dealerships often don't lead with this option because third-party contracts typically carry a bigger margin and a bigger commission for the person selling it to you. That doesn't automatically make the manufacturer's plan better in every case. Coverage terms vary, but the price gap is real. It's common for the manufacturer's own extended warranty to come in meaningfully cheaper than the third-party contract sitting on the menu in front of you, for coverage that's often just as good or better since it's backed by the automaker itself. So ask directly, do you also offer the manufacturer's extended warranty, or only this third-party contract? If they only present the third-party option, that's worth pausing on. It doesn't mean it's a bad deal, but it means you haven't seen the full picture yet. Get both prices before you decide. This is the question I get asked more than almost anything else. And the honest answer is, it depends on the math, not the sales pitch. When you finance a warranty into your loan, you're not just paying the sticker price, you're paying interest on it for the life of the loan. On a $3,000 contract financed at even a moderate rate over 6 years, you can end up paying several $100s more than the contract itself costs, just in interest. If you have the cash available and you're confident you want the coverage, paying out of pocket is almost always cheaper. If financing is the only way you can afford it, that's a signal worth paying attention to because it usually means the price wasn't right in the first place. There's also a third option almost nobody in the finance office volunteers. These contracts can often be purchased after the sale, sometimes for less, and almost always from a third-party marketplace at a lower price than the dealership menu. You are not required to decide today. So here's the move that actually works, and it happens before you ever sit down with the finance manager. Ask for warranty pricing during the vehicle negotiation, not after. Say directly, I want the extended warranty price included in the out-the-door number we're negotiating right now. When it's rolled into the vehicle deal, instead of presented separately in F&I, it gets negotiated like the rest of the price, not pitched like an add-on. Ask for the coverage tier and provider name up front, so you can look up comparable pricing before you're sitting across from someone trained to close you in the moment. If you're already in the finance office and it's presented for the first time there, say this exactly. I'm not deciding on this today. Send me the contract details and I'll compare it. That single sentence removes the time pressure the entire menu presentation is built around. And if you do want it, negotiate the price directly. Say, I know these are typically marked up 2 to 3 times cost. What's the best you can do? You will not always get all the way to their cost, but you will almost never be told no to a discount if you ask plainly. So next video, I'm going back to the deal sheet itself, every fee, every markup, the whole document, line by line. If you want to see exactly what I saw from the other side of that desk, subscribe so you don't miss it. Have you ever financed a warranty and found out later what it actually cost the dealership? Tell me in the comments, I read all of them. This has been Dealer Decoded. See you in the next one.